Hello, YouTubers. How are you today? We're back. Frank's Fine Leather. And I'm Frank. Okay, so where we left off was we needed to get this stitched and sanded, this and this stitched, this sanded, and this stitched and sanded, which is what we've done. Okay, that's all I did offline, and you can see it looks pretty good. It came out really nice. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get a little bit of this, cut the 45s off with our burnishing tool here. Take that off. Take this off. Let's get this side off here. Let's go ahead and get this. Like that. Let's go ahead and get this, and this. Go ahead and get a little bit of that side right here. That's just a single, but it's kind of lifted up a little bit. We'll kind of see how that ends up going. We can always, when you don't have enough room because it's kind of thin and low to the mat, you can kind of put it on another piece of leather and see if you can get in there and cut that a little bit, which you could. Okay, so we got that done. Okay. All right. There we go. So now we'll go ahead and give these some light sanding. So we'll bring back our little piece of paper we have here. Let's see here. Finishing this real quick upload here. Sorry about that. For some reason this didn't finish as soon as I wanted it to. I didn't want to sit around and wait on it. So I went ahead and started my video, and of course, you know how it is. The minute you start your video, everything else wants to go ahead and finish. So just got another nice little video for us posted. It's part 3. looks like it's gonna be good. Okay, so we get our sandpaper out here. We'll use our small block. Let's use our small block on this one. Go ahead and put that on there. Now keep in mind, since we cut this with it's really not a machine, it's a press, but since we cut this with a press, we got a little more accurate cut. I don't have to do as much sanding. The only reason you have to do sanding is to bring the leather back in tolerance, and you do it ever so slightly, little bits at a time, instead of doing it all at one big time. One great giant step. Take little bitty steps, little bitty bites at it, and then by the time you're done, you've kind of got it massaged where you want it. It's kind of like losing weight, you know. You just gotta take little steps at a time, and then you finally get where you want. And Christmas and Thanksgiving comes around, and you're right back to where you were. Unless you have a lot of willpower. Or if you're super self-conscious about yourself, you know, and you've got to keep that weight off, but sometimes people are like, you know what, I just want to be happy this week, so I'm not going to follow my diet. What the heck, you know, you only go around once. I'm not saying that's a good thing to do, but yeah. Those people are pretty much following a "you're not promised tomorrow," you know, because we're not. That's okay. I guess it doesn't mean you have to throw everything at the wall, but that's it. I don't think most of us do anyway. Yeah, this is kind of really nice. Just give these little sand, like so. Makes them nice and smooth. And get that sandpaper taken care of. So we'll go ahead and do these edges where we've got everything out and we're ready to go. Let's go ahead and pop these edges in here. Go ahead and put our token all on there. Spread it around. set in for a minute. That's the best way to use token. I'll put it on and let it sit there for a minute or so. Work it in with your hands. You can see it's already, make it nice and round already. It's taking that squareness out of it. Yeah. Just what we want. Giving it a little edge. Yeah, there we go. So here we go right here. Okay. Get our towel up here and get our wood slicker out. You can hear that sound. Hear that sound when it gets dry and it's starting to heat up. Almost sounds like helicopter blades in the sky. When I was in the military, that's what it sounded like. The Hueys used to be coming. That's how you know you're getting a successful edge on there. So it's nice and, this is nice and smooth now. You can see it's rounded there, like a little bull nose. Makes it look so cool. And we remember we took from the edge and came out this way. So now everything looks nice and even, and then with this edge slicking tool, it went ahead and let's go ahead and do this edge. Went ahead and finished the job off with the edge slicking tool. Yeah. nice and slick. Okay. Let that dry a little bit for a moment or so. Let's go ahead and wipe this stuff down just a little bit, just in case we got any that ran over on our leather. Want to make sure you wipe it off there real good. Now you got to hold down pretty good with this, your other hand. And you're rubbing this or this thing will move around. As you can see, it does move around. Make it a little pliable. Be ready to do our holes here pretty soon. Okay. Now we'll do this edge here. Let's go ahead and pop this edge in. These are the edges that are going to be on the non-hinge side. So they will be on the side that opens. So we've got to go ahead and get these done because them being on the side that doesn't, you don't want them to open. Because that's the inside, that's your outside of your wallet. It's the backbone. So well. Nothing. There we go. Pull this back over here. There we go. So that edge is done. Now, the one thing we will do is because this is going to be our non-hinged side. It'll be our side that'll be a little bit of stuff right there, so get that wiped off there. We want to marry that up. And this is the way it's going to look. And then this is going to fold up. This is going to fold up. It's going to have some stitching there because it's got it here. And these two are not stitched together at all because it's the inside of the wallet. Take a little bit of that off there too. Yeah, as you run across your wallet here and you just feel little rough spots because you leave some of the tokonole that dries. Just kind of wipe it off with your t-shirt, get you an old t-shirt like this. Just put it on your desk there and you just go over it with the t-shirt. T-shirt's nice and soft. And the other thing that we're going to be doing is that's going to get stitched, and this is going to get stitched to here. Okay? So that gets stitched and this gets stitched. This does not get stitched because it's the open side. There's no second piece of leather going down here, so there's no stitches here. And so when you finish this wallet, it really looks weird to me when you have stitch here and stitch here and stitch there and nothing here, because it'll be a finished wallet. And when it's closed up, you know, you'll see stitches on one side, not on the other. You know, when you're looking at it from the back, you know, you'll see two sets of stitches. And then you'll see a little gap, and then you'll see one set of stitch on one side, but you won't see stitches on the other side. Because there's nothing for that to be holding on. There's no pockets, no edge pieces that go on right there. So what I like to do is on that side where that's going to be, I like to go ahead and put a set of stitches down through there. And then the stitches, all they're going to be is they're going to be aesthetics only. They're just going to be there to make it look balanced and even. A lot of guys, they'll say, oh, I don't like to put stitches in just for aesthetic reasons, but that's where I usually don't, but in this case, it's going to be needed. So, yeah. And so this is our stencil. As you can see, on our stencil, it shows that we have our pocket from there to there. And then this is some stitching that we need to put on there. So we'll just put a mark there. And then obviously this is going to need to be stitched to this when it's finished. Okay? So we'll need to come all the way around and all the way up to here. If you look at that, on this side, you're going to have this will marry up into here like that, okay? And so you're going to have this side, and so you're going to have this side and this side on this. Glue, shave down, and to get it prepared. And this will be your open side, because this is where you're gonna open it up like a bifold, stick your money in there. Okay. But before we get going too crazy, we will have to put our magnetic snaps in. But I like to go ahead at this step, and I've already marked it there and there. So we're going to take our wing divider and we're going to come down like that. we needed to go really light on that mark. And so I did go pretty light, but we'll see how light that it comes out. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and stitch this up right here. This is going to get stitches from here down. I can just mark them with hand pressure. They're not getting glued, so we're not scuffing them up. But we are putting some hand pressure, and we'll be doing the same thing coming down this back stretch once everything gets put together. Because we'll be coming all the way across. We'll be, as this sits in here, like this. This will get stitched down. This and this will get stitched down. Once you fold this up and you fold this up, that's when those two will get stitched. And if you look at it here, that's going to be this part and this part, not this part. So this is a part you leave alone there, okay? And he's not going to get nothing right away. Actually, take that back. Once we do these buttons, we will come back and put a set of fake stitches in here, because this will be our inside, and there's nothing to stitch here, and there's nothing else to stitch here. So to make it look balanced, we will stitch this side too. So let's go ahead and pop our holes in first, because that's what we need to do next. And I pretty much got a second stencil that I put on here and said, punch this one if you want to allow for a fuller wallet, or if not, then punch the top one. So the one we use is going to be for less fuller. And so then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and mark this here with the hole punch we're going to be using. And I think it's a 4mm. Doesn't tell me, but I'm pretty sure it's a 4mm. Let me look. And so I think it's this one. It's a 3. Might be a 3. Let's see what this size is. It's a 3. Okay, so it's a 3. So we're going to go with a 3. So what we're going to do is line this up on top of our unit. We use our square. Let's use our square here. So we'll put our piece down in here so it's square. Take this stencil until it's square. Okay. Hold it down, pushing down this way into the square, right? Pushing up, and then we're going to just push this down here and gently mark it. Kind of hold it a little bit and give it a little tap. And that'll give us a little mark on where that hole needs to go. And we never put that hole in there until after we're done stitching, because when the button goes over the top of this, sometimes the edge of that button will cover part of this stitching. Just a little bit, just a little snap. So that'll do two things. One, it gets it closer to the edge, also kind of locks that down in there, if you will. And it looks pretty good. Okay? And then for this, I have a tool. It's a rotary tool. It's called a rotary punch. And so we've got to get one that's close to a 3mm. So let's look at this. And this is our 3mm right here. So we want to rotate him around until he's on that side, and then put him in this punch area. Line him up. Where we had this other punch. And then give it a nice little crimp. Wiggle it back and forth, uncrimp. And there we go. Got a nice little hole there right in the center. And it lines up right in the middle. Lines up in the middle there. So then when we fold this in and fold this down, you can see it'll hit that right on the money. Right on the money right there. So that's what it'll be when we get finished. And so now we can go ahead and set our two snaps. And I'll show you how we do that. So, give me just a hot second and I'll take you over there. Okay, YouTubers, we're back. So what I want to show you is these magnetic snaps. And so we'll be putting these on today to show you how these go on. These are a nice little snap, and I'll tell you where you can get those when I do the class. But they're all magnetically come together, and then they're all stuck together. You just kind of break them apart. And so you have a female and a male. So you'll have like the female that'll go like on this side, okay? And then you'll have a cap. And you'll take this cap, and you put this cap on there. Just put this cap right there, okay? And that'll be up like that. So you'll be a receiver. And then this will be your male part, which will come down and mate to it, okay? this, like so. Okay, so you got that, and that, and this, and that. Okay? And then you buy these two little tools that they send. Well, you buy these two tools and they send them to you. They're a separate piece that you have to buy. And so what you do is you will take, say like, this is your female, and so you'll have an opposing male setter, and you'll set that in the setter, right, like that. And then you have a little cupped in right there. That'll go right over this. And then you'll take and whack it real good right there. I'm not going to do that with the camera on because it's real loud and makes everything vibrate. So, but I'm going to go ahead and set these real quick and then we'll come right back, okay? And there you have it. So we've got that all done. You give it about 5 good whacks. Pretty heavy, and then it'll set it just like that. It'll come out just beautiful. Shiny. See how it covers those stitches just a tad? Yeah. And then this side will be all done. It's your male. There's your female. I'll go inside. There's a little blue piece here. You just take that off. And then it'll snap together like that. And that'll be your wallet. That's what it'll look like when we get finished. And then on the other side, remember we have our quick draw slot right here. This is the identical wallet that I carry every day, and I love it. That's my EDC, my everyday carry. And I really enjoy it. I've got several different kinds, obviously, since I can make my own. But I primarily only use the one. The one I use I've made out of reindeer skin. Very unique. Very old. It's a crosshatch reindeer. But the one I got is not the real thing. It's the faux crosshatch reindeer. They make a real, it's real reindeer skin, but it's not the sunken treasure ship reindeer skin. And I'll explain that to you maybe here a little later while we're stitching, but there was a ship that sunk back in the 1800s, and the leather's been down there for hundreds of years on that ship, and they finally revived it and pulled it back up. And back in the day, the crosshatch was only used for elites people because it was a special embossing for the leather. And they had a lot of reindeer there. And so that's what they used that for. But anyway, we'll be back to the... Anyway, hope you didn't hear a lot of that barking. The UPS guy came and knocked on the door, so I had to stop the video abruptly. But anyway, that's what our wallet will look like when we finish it. And so I'm going to stop this video here, and we're going to come back here in a little while, and we're going to finish this by putting this on to this side and finish this wallet up. Oh, and we will have to put one more set of stitches right here to match this side, so it'll balance it out, okay? But I wanted to get these on first and get this ready, and then we'll set this side. But I just need to make sure everything's gonna balance out before we put those stitches in there. So Anyway, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. I would really appreciate that. And we can become a good YouTube family together. And I plan on putting out plenty more content like this. So until then, I'll see you later.